Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Inakwana Olekimi Ekaro. This is the voice of Ahmed Odunton. It's been a minute since I said anything about something. And that is especially because I am much more of a thinker than a talker. And when I do choose to talk, it is my preference to talk about subjects instead of topics. I prefer to talk about systems instead of the actions and inactions of men, because that comes with a lot of cynicism and hypocrisy. But this is a subject that has gone viral. I have shied away from it for so long. I have refrained always to talk about religion and religious leaders. But it has gotten to a point where it is necessary that I intervene on the side of reason and I share with you what the nature of ecclesiastical and temporal pronouncements are. So this video is about the infamous or viral testimony of Pastor E.A. Adeboye regarding the infamous cup of tea that he drank with God or God drank with him. Once again, the title of this video is The Nature of Ecclesiastical and Temporal Pronouncements. So let us dive in. The last few days, we have seen millions of frustrated Nigerians throw critical jabs at His Eminence, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, the General Overseer of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, over his cup of tea testimony. Not just that, Pastor Enoch has also been bombarded with millions of knocks from many Nigerians when he said that the problems of the nation is spiritual and not political. So millions of Nigerians who are well read and are expected to know better in this kind of situations, we have unfortunately let the frustrations of hunger, the rising tide of crime, and the rising cost of living rob us of our sixth sense of common sense. The common sense that helps a man who has lost his sight, who is blind, visually impaired, to navigate his way from his abode to the bus stop. Ojú ẹ̀fọ́, but ojú inú ẹ̀fọ́, that is the sixth sense. He lost his sight, but not his insight. The common or inner sense that helps the visually impaired, who is also dispossessed of his sense of hearing, to know that it is about to storm. Àbí báwo ni ẹni tí etí di ojú fọ́, báwo ló ṣe mọ̀ pé òjò fẹ́ rọ̀? He is incapable of seeing the clouded eyes of Eledumare, nor of hearing the thunderous tantrums thrown by Shango, Holukoso, or Haraina, but slapped by the hands of the wind, by the cool hands of the wind. He knows that Eledumare is about to give us some rain. Ojú fọ́ kò ríran, but he knows that pé òjò fẹ́ rọ̀. Báwo ló ṣe mọ̀? kò gbọ́ pé Ṣàngó ń kùn, kò rí pé ojú Elédùmarè ṣú. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí ọwọ́ tútù atẹ́gùn tó ń fẹ́ tó bá gba ojú ẹ̀, a mọ̀ pé it's about to storm. That is the sixth sense. So look, if we sit still and stay calm and deploy or employ our sixth sense of insight and put ecclesiastical or clerical pronouncements under the microscope, we shall immediately discover that clerical pronouncements or testimonies, religious testimonies, lack the spines and joints of logic. Such matters breathe the air of faith and not reason. So any such attempts to evaluate the reasonableness or unreasonableness of faith-based testimonies of another man is extremely foolish and lacks wisdom. This is sheer evaluation and misapplication of skill. So in the classroom, we apply logic, but in the church or in the mosque or at religious functions, a reckless application of logic, a reckless application of reason leads you to the precipice of heresy. But thank God, most of the people who are knocking Pastor Enoch have not questioned the existence or non-existence of God. But who are we to question the testimonies of another man in relation to his own gods or gods? We must leave it alone, because it lies within the realms of man's personal or private business with his God. So we should be least disappointed and not entertain frivolities of this nature. Secondly, when we was growing up, we used to be told stories about tortoise, about how he climbed the tree, about how he fell down, about how tortoise was Mr. All of You because of his cunningness, and how man, look, those were myths, those were legend needed to be told or used as a vehicle to pass a moral or to teach a lesson. You understand? So now, at some point in your life, you would eventually realize the purpose of those myth, legend, or stories that were told as a vehicle to teach morality. So look, I'm not saying, or it is not my place, it is not my business to say that Pastor E.S. Adeboye's testimony is myth, legend. But look, my point regarding that testimony is, it is outside something like, it is not within, or it is not a material for public discourse. You understand? If we all had jobs, if the economy is running fine, that is not what we are going to be talking about. We'll be talking about something else. So the second leg of this video is regarding the national spiritual problems that Daddy Gio was talking about. Pastor Enoch has not just won millions of knocks, but he has had to hit tons of jabs from Nigerians for saying that the problems of Nigeria are spiritual and requires not political solutions but spiritual solutions. Pastor Adeboye, lest we forget, he's a scholar. He has a bachelor's degree in mathematics in 1967, master's in hydrodynamics, and he also had a PhD in 1975 in applied mathematics. So at 81 years old, Daddy Gio sits at the head of a strong congregation that is well over 10 million men and women. He is a respectable authority, no doubt. We accept. Even if he is not, intellectual responsibility, intellectual sagacity demands that we avoid the slippery slope of fallacy ad hominem. The message is not the message is the subject of attack, not the character of the messenger. Thus, decorum demands that we exercise some restraints and measure, so we do not muddle the water, thereby letting the message escape scrutiny, escape the doses of resolution and clarification. A gbọ́dọ̀ fún wọn tán, ṣùgbọ́n tí a ò bá fara balẹ̀, a ò ní ráyè fún wọn tán, aláre á wá dẹlẹ́bi. So look, first of all, without any malicious intention to attack Baba, a psychoanalysis of Daddy Gio must reveal to psychologists traces of an inner and existential crisis. Look, he's a billionaire, he has a private jet, he's looking good, but look, kò sí ẹni tí ó mọ nǹkan tí olúkálùkù ń bá deal ní kọ̀ọ̀kọ̀. Ojú la rí, ẹ ò mọ nǹkan tó ń jẹ lọ́kàn. So, look, if they do a psychoanalysis, they must realize that some existential crisis is there. Because look, a combination in one man of all his academic badges, material knowledge with spiritual knowledge, must sometimes cast a spell of inconsistency on him anytime he dares to analyze his material environment. Because it's not even supposed, because his mind is supposed to be fixated on the spiritual realm, but now he is coming to analyze the material realm. Problem awa, inconsistency ajeyo. So, but look, I agree with Baba that we have a spiritual problem. Not just Africa, not just Nigeria, but Africa. You understand? So look, if a race abandons its culture, its tradition, its ancestry, and says their ancestors were foolish and wrong in their ways, fetish and evil, because another race who had insidious intention told them so, and that stranger, who is a colonialist, enslaver, bestows on him an amended King James literature, while the original literature is hiding somewhere. Shall that race hand the blessing of fury of his of their ancestors. So look, religion is a social construct foisted on men for many different reasons. We are not just human. We are created by God, Eledumare, in his image. We are spirits, or we have one. But unfortunately, we have abandoned our spirituality for religion. I repeat, religion is a social construct by men, but we are a spiritual construction molded after God. How should we then abandon our spirituality and in the name of religion, we are starting to run after the middlemen of Eledumare, middlemen of God? We are Christians or Muslims by disaster. Tebamo. Those who brought religion did not come to us in peace. They had military cannon in their hand, in their right hand, and they had religious cannon in their left to conquer not just men but also the minds of men. While the smoke of those military cannons have since vanished, religious cannons, the incense of religious cannons still becloud our minds. And I tell you that we are Christians or Muslims or whatever we are by accident. And I said it came not in peace, but by way of conquest. The northern part of Nigeria is right now predominantly Muslim because the Arabs got there first. If the Christians had been there first, they, in their millions too, would have been Christians. So the Southwest and the South, which is the Christian South, and what we call Debe, the people who got there first, was the Europeans. So Kenya and Arabs, ni wọ́n kọ́ dọ́dọ̀ wa náà, will be practicing Islam. So you are what you have by accidents. And you have abandoned what you were by design. Bàbá yẹn mọ nǹkan tó ń sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n by virtue of his place, position, he's not going to be able to say everything that he wishes to say. Shebi Baba sọ pé all those that are trampling on us. And Baba, he did not say the spirits are trampling on us so because of our sin, no. But he said all those that are trampling on us. He knows them, but he is unable to call names because of his place. Wọ́n lè fi gbogbo ẹnu sọ̀rọ̀. So, Baba pé ọ̀rọ̀ sọ. You understand? So, now, that is a spiritual crisis for the black man. Àwọn tí wọ́n mẹ́sìn wá, àwọn amúnisìn, àwa gbẹ̀sìn ẹlẹ́sìn, ẹni tó gbẹ̀sìn ẹlẹ́sìn kọ́, á ṣẹ̀sìn. Á ṣẹ̀sìn gbà tó bá jẹ́ pé kò tẹ̀lé àwọn lóòótọ́. So, ìwọ tó gbẹ̀sìn, tó abandon spirituality, you are focusing on religion instead of spirituality. Wàá ṣẹ̀sìn torí ẹ̀sìn amúnisìn. Bíbélì gidi rí yẹn kà. King James King James instituted some guys, okay, write my own version of the Bible. If Daddy Gio níbi táwọn náà lẹ́ẹ̀kan tí wọ́n làmìlaka, if he decides that he wants to create his own version of the Bible, yes, àwọn tó máa tẹ̀lé wọn, wọ́n á tẹ̀lé wọn, and they will start their own evangelism on a new basis. Ẹ wá gbẹ̀sìn, ẹ̀ ń ṣẹ̀sìn. Àwọn ọba Yorùbá, olórí awo, gbogbo awo ìlú, wọ́n wá ń ṣàyìn, wọ́n wá ń ṣàyìn. Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Oòduà, ẹ kárí ń bẹ̀. Ọba Yorùbá, bó tiẹ̀ lóògùn wá ní bàbá Ògùn, Ògùn Ọ̀wọ̀. Bí ire bá ń lọ níwájú, wàá bá. Bí bá ń lọ níwájú, ò ní bá. Ibi tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn, ìyẹn ò ní bá ẹ. Ò ní ìdá tí bá tèèyàn jẹ́. Ògùn Ọ̀wọ̀. Wọ́n wá ń kíní náà, ìyẹn bàbá yẹn náà, pẹ̀lú Abíọ́lá, ìyẹn gbé tí mú. Odindi Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò. Tí ṣèbí wọ́n sọ pé afẹ́fẹ́ kì í ṣẹ̀wọ̀n. Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò Yorùbá, who is a military general of a cultured race. Wọ́n ní tí nìyẹn mú. Bàbá wa Abraham Adesanya ńkọ́ tí wọ́n fẹ́ mú abẹ́rẹ́ àlọ kọ́nà ọkùn tó dí. Sunday Igboho ńkọ́, ọkùnrin mẹ́ta, ọkùnrin takuntakun. Ẹ̀yin ọba, ẹ wá túra lẹ̀. Ẹ bọ́ra wú, oníkẹ́ dìde. Ẹ bọ́ra wú ní kí gbogbo yín dìde. Ẹ̀yin ọba aládé. Àwọn Fúlàní kan àbáwọn kan bandit wá ń kó yín, wọ́n wá ń ṣá yín, wọ́n wá ń ṣá yín. So there is a spiritual problem right there. Spiritual problem wa kò yẹ kí àwọn tí wọ́n ń jà wá lólè, àwọn olóṣèlú, kò yẹ kán lè máa ṣe gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe tí a bá ní spiritual problem ni. Àbí ìwọ tó mọ̀ pé o gbọ́dọ̀ dalẹ̀ ará ìlú, àwọn tí wọ́n vote ẹ síbẹ̀. Gbogbo yín wọ́n ń ṣe báyìí. But look, there's going to be change. Spiritual solution, which is identifying ourselves with our roots. Eléyìí tá ti sọ pé àwọn bàbá wa ò mọ̀ ṣe mọ́, ó ti tó. Àní àwọn bàbá wa wọn ò mọ̀ ṣe kíní. Even the Europeans, they are traveling back to Osun State to come and get Ifa initiation. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ń bẹ̀, ẹ̀yin sọ pé kíní ni pastor gan. Pastor fúnra rẹ̀ gan, ó mọ bí tó ti ń jàsí jẹ. Ìmáàmù gan, ó mọ bí tó ti ń jẹjà àrọ̀. Ìwọ wà ń bẹ̀, ìwọ ń jẹ Titus, ó jẹjà àrọ̀, inú ẹ̀ ń dùn. Man, have a good one. Thank you.